How do you think the world began? I mean, really began. Every culture has its own incredible answer to that question. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most foundational creation myths from China, the story of a giant named Pangu. And it all starts inside an egg.
Wow, that line comes from an ancient Chinese text, and it just paints such a vivid picture, doesn't it? Try to imagine it. The entire universe, everything you can see and everything you can't, all mixed up together in this swirling, dark chaos, all held inside one single giant cosmic egg.
So yeah, that's where our story kicks off. This primordial state. Before there was light, or dark, or up, or down. The craziest part is everything that would ever exist was already there. It just didn't have any shape or order. It was a universe of potential.
This state has a name, Hundun, and when we say chaos, we don't mean like a messy bedroom. No, this is way more profound. Think of it more like a cosmic soup, all the ingredients for the sun, the moon, the mountains, the rivers, they're all just floating around in there, waiting for something to happen.
And you know what? Something was happening. Deep inside that cosmic egg, unseen, a being was taking shape. A giant named Pangu. And for thousands and thousands of years, all he did was sleep, growing bigger and stronger, just soaking up all that raw cosmic energy.
So after what was probably the longest nap in history, Pangu finally wakes up. He opens his eyes and nothing, just darkness and chaos. He's trapped, and he knows, right then and there, he's got to get out.
So with this incredible, mighty effort, he just shatters the egg from the inside, and as it cracks open, the lighter, purer parts, what they call the yang, floated up and became the sky, and the heavier, murkier stuff, the yin, sank down to form the earth. But his job wasn't over, not by a long shot. Heaven and earth wanted to smash back together, so Pangu plants himself right between them, his head holding up the sky, his feet planted on the brand new earth, and he pushes.
And the scale of this task, it's just mind-boggling. Every single day for 18,000 years, the sky rose 10 feet, the earth got thicker by 10 feet, and Pangu himself grew 10 feet taller just to keep them apart. He was literally growing along with the universe he was creating. I mean, can you even imagine that level of commitment?
So after all that time, 18,000 long years, the world was finally stable. Heaven was way up high. The earth was solid and thick. Pangu, completely and totally exhausted, could finally rest. His great work was done. But this incredible feat, well, it came at the ultimate price.
Pangu laid down, and he died. But even in his death, he gave life to the world. His body began to transform. His last breath became the wind and the clouds. His voice became the rumbling thunder. His left eye blazed into the sun. His right eye softened into the moon. His blood flowed and became the world's rivers. His hair scattered across the sky to become the stars and constellations. And his body became the great mountains of the earth. The world wasn't just built by him, it was him. A world born from a profound sacrifice.
What an amazing story, right? A single being becomes literally everything we see around us. But this brings up a really fascinating question, one that historians just love to dig into. The story feels so ancient, so complete, but where did it actually come from? Well, the answer is a bit of a mystery.
All right, so for this last part, let's put on our detective hats. We're going to look at the clues scholars have found about where the Pangu myth began. And it's a debate that connects ancient China with some other really amazing civilizations.
So here's the first clue, and it's a big one. Even though the story feels like it's from the dawn of time, it was actually written down pretty late. The first records we have of Pangu are from around the 3rd century CE. Now, that's way after a lot of other creation myths were recorded, including a surprisingly similar one from ancient India that's almost 2,000 years older. This whole timeline has led scholars down two main paths.
So, on one side of the debate, you have scholars who are pretty sure Pangu is a homegrown Chinese myth. They think the story might have grown out of older tales from southern China, maybe about an ancestor figure named Panhu, or the name Pangu itself might be related to the word for gourd, which was a huge symbol of life and creation in a lot of local cultures. But then, you have the other side. The similarities to the Indian myth of Purusha are just so hard to ignore. Purusha was also a cosmic giant whose body was sacrificed to create the world. His mind became the moon, his eye the sun, his breath the wind. Sound familiar? Because of those parallels and the timing of it all, other scholars think the idea might have traveled to China with Buddhist monks and traders. It's a really fascinating historical puzzle, and honestly, we don't have a clear answer.
So, in the end, whether Pangu's story is 100% Chinese or was inspired by ideas from far away, it leaves us with this really powerful thought. This myth tells us that the mountains, the rivers, the sun, and the stars, they aren't just things. They're the actual body of their creator. It suggests the world itself is this living, breathing entity that was born from an incredible sacrifice. So the question is, what does that say about our relationship with the world and our place in it? Definitely something to think about.